Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramapade Balabhadra Subhadrabham Jagannathaya Te Namaha. You can all learn this pranam mantra for Jagannath Subhadra Baladev, so that whenever you come before Jagannath Subhadra Baladev, you can chant it. This means, it's very easy to understand, we're offering pranam to Jagannath, who is Nilachal Nivasi, who lives on the Blue Hill, which means in Puri, who is eternal, who is the supreme being, supreme living entity in Prabhupada's language. So we offer obeisances to him along with Balabhadra, his big brother, and Subhadra, his sister. That's all. So this song we just sung says Jai Jai Jagannath. So who is Jagannatha? Here is Jagannatha. There's another, well, there are many Jagannaths. You'll find many people in Orissa and Bengal especially, and throughout India, with the name Jagannath. So one Jagannath appeared here, actually not appeared here, but he came to live here. His name, this was about more than 500 years ago, his name was Jagannath Mishra. And his wife was Shachi Devi. So the song is Jai Jai Jagannatha Shachirananda. So this can be understood in two ways. It means all glories to Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, who is the delight or the son of Shachimata. Or it can mean all glory to the son of Jagannath and Shachi. So either way, it means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Jagannath? He's also the son of Jagannath. And Tribhuvana Kare Ja Charana Bandha. All the three worlds offer prayers to his lotus feet. All the three worlds except the foolish people. Any sane person within the three worlds must offer prayers at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has appeared here in Mayapur. Well, it's not exactly Mayapur. Mayapur means down there. There's Navadvip Dham. There's Rajapur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Mayapur. And this is Rajapur. So Mayapur is a specific area within Navadvip Dham. So often devotees talk about the Jagannath temple at Mayapur, but technically it's not in any way, I suppose, not in Mayapur. So Nilachale Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadha. That Jagannath, when he appears in Nilachal, in Puri Dham, he holds a conch, Sudarshan Chakra, lotus flower, and a club. But Nadiya Nagare Danda Kamandalu Kar. But in Nadia, Navadip, in his hands he has stick, actually, and he took the stick after he left Nadia, but means in this Leela, in this appearance, and Kamandalu, which is a water pot, carried by, especially by sannyasis. Not only sannyasis. Lord Brahma also has. That's described when Vaman Dev stuck his toe through the coverings of the universe. Then his foot was coming up, and Brahma saw this foot coming past Satyaloka, and he thought, this is Lord Vishnu's foot. It's a good time to do Padabhishek. So he did so with his Kamandalu. And that became the Ganga. And then when he stuck his toe through the coverings of the universe, then the water from the Karna ocean leaked through, and that's also Ganga. So Ganga has two sources from Vaman. It means the Charanamrita, Vamandev's lotus feet. So this Jagannath who appears in Nilachal, he's also appeared here in Navadip, which is non-different from Nilachal. Different and non-different, just as they're all the dhams of the Lord. So just like Vrindavan is non-different, or Navadip, usually we say Navadip is non-different from Vrindavan. So Nilachal or Puri Dham is also non-different. But Jagannath of his own accord appeared here. I'll read out the story. It's written here. That there was a demon in the Orissa area called Raktabahu. It says many, many ages ago, but actually in fairly recent history of Orissa, there was also a demon called Raktabahu, but this one going long, long way back. So the Shabaras, who are the ancient worshippers of Lord Jagannath, although by caste they're outcasts, but they worship Lord Jagannath. That's why Prabhupada said Lord Jagannath is very suitable for worshipping in the Western countries, because he said Lord Jagannath is very merciful. Because in Orissa, most people worship Lord Jagannath. Another thing that most people do in Orissa is eat fish, which isn't a standard Vaishnava practice. I mean, one of the greatest Vaishnavas, personal servant of the Lord, he eats fish. Who can think who that is? Garuda. He's a fish eater. But that doesn't mean that that's a normal thing to do. Another great devotee of Lord Ram is also a carnivore. Who can think of that? Eats Jatayu. Doesn't mean that everyone should do that. So, out of fear of this demon, or to protect the Lord from the excesses of this demon, the Shabaras, they brought Jagannath to Bengal, to this area, which is known as Simanta Deep. Called after the marking put on the Simanta of Durga Devi here. Anyway, there are so many stories. You can read them in Navadip Dham Mahatmya. So, Jagannath was installed here by the Shabaras long, long ago. And thus this place is non-different from Puri Dham. Wherever there is Jagannath, there is his Dham. So, anyway, after some time the puja stopped. That usually happens after some time. It may be after a short time, after a long time, after hundreds of years, after thousands of years. Of course, we see in modern ISKCON that it often stops very quickly. The devotees start worshipping a deity, and after 3 months, they don't feel like doing it anymore, which is nonsense. When you start to worship a deity, you have to continue throughout your life. Otherwise, it's an offense. Or unless you're incapacitated. It means you physically can't do it. If you can't walk anymore, then you may turn the service over to someone else. But just, I don't have time, I don't feel like it, I'm too busy, I'm in Maya, there's no reason to stop deity worship. It becomes offensive to stop doing so. So, it died out. That happens because in this material world, the general nature of this material world, everything is in decline, away from the spiritual. We all came to this material world not to serve Krishna, but to forget Krishna. So the great devotees who were serving him, they passed away, and in course of time their descendants died out and the worship stopped. But Lord Jagannatha revealed himself to Jagadish Ganguly. You know, the whole story of how one devotee of his who was actually attacked by leprosy. So Lord Jagannath revealed that I'm coming in the form of a log, and you have to carve me. And how can I carve? So many hands. And my hands they're melting away. But the Lord told him to do so, and you can imagine it was extremely painful to do so. But as he did so, as Jagadish Ganguly did so, gradually the leprosy went away as the form of the Lord manifested from the log. And so this was around the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, when this whole dham was full of so many great devotees. But in course of time, that worship that also reduced more and more until the devotees at one point, this was in late 1970s. I was actually in the room with Jayapataka Maharaj when some representative from this temple. Well, this is a new temple actually. This was built by ISKCON. The old temple is at the back there. So they proposed to let ISKCON take it over. We're not able to do it properly. And the people are afraid also, because they know the local people here, who are mostly Muslims, it's mixed Muslim Hindu population, they have a lot of faith in Jagannath. They know he's like Ashutosh. If you please him, he can bestow abundant desires. People come, so many people come for material benediction, and he gives them. They want a child, or whatever they want. They want money, and Jagannath gives. But if you displease him or make some offense, then you're in a lot of trouble. So local people had a lot of faith, but they were afraid that if you're not worshipping Jagannath, we're really going to get in a lot of trouble. So they turned the worship over to ISKCON. And as you can see, it's going on nicely. Hare Krishna. परिवार समझते हो अभी अंग्रेजी सीख गए नहीं तो हिंदी अनुवाद हो रहा है पीछे आगा सुनने चाहते हैं हरे कृष्ण तो Jagannath is being served nicely here. You'll see there's so many flowers here. And at ISKCON Mayapur there are so many flowers. Where do they all come from? Look out here. This is Radha Madhava's flower garden. Big flower garden. And every day the devotees here, they pick literally hundreds of flowers and take them down to Mayapur. Some are kept here, some are taken to Mayapur for making those big garlands. So Jagannath is here. Now continuing this song. Some people say that he Keho Bale Purabete Ravan Badhila. Some say that in former times he killed Ravana and exhibited the magnificent pastimes of Golok within this world, which is true. Some say it's true. But now, as Gaura avatar, Gaura, Generally we say Gora, but in Bengali colloquial language, sometimes they say Gora, Gora, not Gora, Gora. So here it's written Gora, Gora Avatar. So now he has descended in a golden form with the mood of Radharani. And he preached Hare Krishna. Or he preaches. Vasudeva Ghosh, the author of this song, is one of the... Of course there are many poets, Gauriya poets, who have written many songs about Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna Lila, and related topics. But among them, one of the most famous is Vasudeva Ghosh. So he says, Vasudeva Ghosha Bale Kari Jor Hat. Vasudeva Ghosh says, joining his hands together, Jai God, that God, or this God, is the same Krishna, and he is Jagannatha. So there you have it. In simple, sweet, prayerful language, revelation of the understanding of who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, who Jagannatha is. This Jagannatha is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's described in some Oriya book that Shiki Mahiti, an intimate associate, one of the most intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya, although we don't hear very much about him in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That in a dream he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one morning and told him that in my dream last night I saw you entering into Jagannath and again coming out. And again entering and again coming out. So just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw Jagannath as Murali Vadan. We see Jagannath in this form which looks, well, it is unusual. It's unique. The form of Krishna that we see with two hands, holding a flute, bent, in one sense it's not unique, because every man, which includes demigods and various others, man-like forms, Hare Krishna, they all have the same form. Man is shaped in the image of God. So when we see the form of Krishna standing with two hands, we think, we're not surprised by the form itself. But the form of Jagannath is unusual. We don't find anyone else with this form of Jagannath. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath as Krishna with two hands holding a flute. And Vasudeva Ghosh is saying he's seeing Jagannath as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shiki Mahiti saw Jagannatha as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is Jagannath manifested in the pastime area of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We said this is not Mayapur, but it's all Navadvip Dham. These are the pastime places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would wander all over Navadvip Dham with his devotees, chanting the names of Krishna. Udila Varuna Puraba Bhage Dvijamani Amani Jage Bhakata Shamoha Loya Shate Gela Nagara Braj. Early in the morning he would rise with his devotees and go wander around the villages in the area Nadia, performing Sankirtan. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannatha. Jai Gaur Jagannatha. Hare Krishna. Any question about this? Here's a book, The Pastimes and History of Lord Jagannatha in Rajapur. This includes many stories of recent pastimes of Lord Jagannatha. Recent means since he came to the care of ISKCON. There are many pastimes. Jagannatha is, as they say in Bengali, a Jagannatha Thakur. He's awake and alive, and he interacts a lot with his devotees. So, as I said, it's good if you do the right thing, and if you do the wrong thing, he'll let you know also. In Puri also, he kicked Ramanuja. Ramanuja came to clean things up and straighten out the priests. And Jagannath kicked him all the way out to Purna Kshetra. So, installing the deity, that's an English term. There is a term, pran pratishta, which means to establish the life. But in the Shuddha, Gauriya understanding, that's also not exactly to the point. It's rather that the Acharya invites the Lord to accept service in this form. Otherwise, pran pratishta, who will give life to Krishna? He gives life to everyone. So, better understanding is that we invite the Lord to kindly accept service in this form. So you can say establishing the worship. Or instead of pran pratishta, we can say seva pratishta, establishing the service. Or in English, another better way to say it is revealing the service. Reveal, this is the language used in the English publications of the Gauriya Math. Reveal the service of the deity. It means that the service is eternal, but it is revealed in a certain place by a certain Acharya for the benefit of the devotees who will serve the Lord in that particular place. So we may say, because English is an awkward language, English was not meant for serving Krishna. Prabhupada he purified the English language. But otherwise English is just for going to hell. Otherwise everyone who spoke English ever before, they all went to hell, that's all. But use of language is very important actually. Just like we often say, devotees, or I guess they're not devotees, they refer to the deity as it. It looks very beautiful today. That means they think the deity is a doll. He or she. This is the proper term to use. We say it in English we say it for an inanimate object or for an animal. Even for an animal to say it is, in Vaishnava understanding, it's not very good. Or to speak, even the rivers, we say Ganga, she is coming, we say, she is flowing here. It's better to say that than it is flowing. Remember, Ganga, she's Ganga Devi. Praishesh. আমাদের কথা মাইক তো শেষ ছিল, এখন আবার চলছে। So, anything else?
Nowadays, many non-initiated devotees
Many non-initiated devotees are worshipping the deities, and it's normal that even without Brahminical initiation and cooking and doing so many things. Well, they got permission from their gurus, but it's not the standard. It's not the standard given by Shastra or by any Acharya. Even in ISKCON centers, it used to be the standard that before deities were installed, generally probably see there are enough Brahmins, there's enough facility, we have our own place. It's not proper to move the deities from one place to another. And otherwise, in a preaching center, what we nowadays call a preaching center, they would have what Srila Prabhupada called Guru Gauranga worship. There'd be a painting of the Panchatattva and a picture of Srila Prabhupada. And even to worship there, one had to be Harinam initiated. That was the standard. Nowadays, people, they just go to Vrindavan, go to Loi Bazaar and worship, buy some Radha Krishna deities, come back and start worship and tell all their friends, oh, I got deities, very cheap. Only 1,000 rupees. I bought Radha and Krishna. They have no idea. One should be Brahmanically initiated, and not just Brahmanically initiated. One should actually be a Brahmin. Brahmin means Brahmajanatiti Brahman, who knows the absolute truth. That's why he's qualified to worship, because he knows what he's doing. He should be trained how to do it. Otherwise, if you think I got Radha and Krishna very cheaply, then it's dull worship. Just play. The standard point, one has to be initiated, has to take Diksha mantras, then he can perform deity worship. Even technically, to perform puja, one has to pronounce certain mantras that require initiation to chant them. It's not that you can just pull some mantras out of some book and chant them, but the mantra that is the mantras, they're also persons. They're non-different from the Lord, and one requires, they're non-different from the person they address, and the Lord Himself has made the system that one has to be initiated into that worship before one can chant them. It's just you can't even, you want to do personal service, but even in this material world, you just can't go up to some big person. I say, I want to serve the Prime Minister, and so you walk into his bedroom and start arranging the clothes, and you can't do that. You have to be appointed to do it and trained how to do it in a manner that you actually serve, not that you just make a big mess out of it because you want to do it for your own sense gratification without following the process of taking initiation. And initiation means surrender. So surrender has to come first. There are so many discrepancies in this idea of just starting worship all by yourself without being initiated. If the Guru wants you to worship Deity, then he should give initiation. Do things in the proper order. You can't eat chapatis without cooking them. I guess you could eat raw dough, but you'll get indigestion.
Worshipping deities. Like if one worships a deity and he's a good god.
He's what?
Like if one worships the deities, let's say he's worshipping God High, and like he's also chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, then by the potency of the Hare Krishna mantra, he will be spirit of his and that's how he will eventually come to a standard. Like if he's interested, like if someone is interested in something, encourage them. It's like
You're saying that chanting Hare Krishna will qualify us for deity worship. Is that the idea?
eventually because
Yeah, so that's the idea. You start chanting Hare Krishna. After some time you may be awarded Brahminical initiation. That's the standard process. Of course, Gaunitai are very merciful. They can be worshipped in all circumstances, but the general system is that's been going on since Gaunitai appeared in this world, is that one is properly initiated. The first activity in Bhakti is Ado Gurvashraya, Krishna Dikshanu Shikshanam, to take shelter of the Guru, to be initiated by him and to accept instruction from him. That's the process given by Rupa Goswami. It's not only in the Gauriya Sampradaya, it's in every Sampradaya, even the Mayavadi Sampradaya. There's some standard basic things.
See, sometimes devotees carrying Gaunitai and dancing.
Carrying Gaunitai on the head and dancing, it's also a speculation. Otherwise, there are so many things you can do out of speculation. All Krishna is supreme enjoyer. There's a good show on TV, so we'll take the deity off the altar, put him in the seat, and I'll sit next to him and we'll watch the program together. Why should only I enjoy it? He can also enjoy it. Once you start speculating, there's no end. It's better to stick to the process given by the acharyas. I don't want to turn this into a seminar on speculative deity worship. I think we have enough questions. I think you get the general point that we should follow the system given by Shastra and the acharyas.